Hi, good afternoon. My name is Shouvik Banerjee. I belong to the global technology team in SAP, based out of UK. There is a reason why I was called in today over here, because I was in a stint talking to our existing customers over the last few weeks. And I said I'll try and go and attend ReTechCon. As a result of it, they said that, since you're here, might as well present our capabilities. What I'm going to do in the next 20 minutes is actually tell you a story and why it's contextual and what actually omnichannel is and what we are seeing in India, which is influencing kind of the West now as well. Just to set some context, what we are saying is the art of the possibility, retailers aspiring to be omnichannel. Take the example of Amazon. They're an online retailer. Other channels never existed for them. Whereas you see something like a Snapdeal or a Flipkart, which is getting 100,000 orders a day. How is it being possible? Whereas Amazon never had 100,000 orders a day, apart from Boxing Day sale or something like that. And then this is being achieved on a regular basis across multiple tenanted e-commerce channels. And also, there is a parallel traction ongoing in the industry where we are seeing the big conglomerates and major retailers of India who has the strong distribution network wanting to leverage that. So there is a limitation which the dedicated online retailers are facing. And the biggest challenge they're facing is that in the depth and in the breadth of the country, where the struggle is, I can't reach out to all 900 towns. That's the biggest challenge these guys are. Whereas the traditional retailers of India, when they are adopting the omnichannel capability and the omnichannel space, they are exactly doing that because their distribution and penetration goes to the deepest villages and small towns of India. So what I'm going to talk to you about is, let's take the example of what we actually say omnichannel is. In the West, in the US, over here, what we are defining. Traditional stores who currently trade in your malls to your kirana walas and also across all your spheres is your first channel. The second channel is, of course, your web. The third channel we see now is your small-time locker mechanics. Things like a small express store which you have, whether it be for any brand, a fashion retailer or a consumer electronics retailer or FMCG or a grocery retailer, we see is a small element of a store which is a micro store. And then you have got the apps capability, and then you move on to the customer service belt, where you actually see kiosks, and what we are going to see is the customer service agents on their iPads coming and greeting. So out of which, we actually do a lot of these online e-commerce digital trading through 5 channels. When we say omni-channel, people start thinking, what exactly are these guys talking about? It's traditional. 5 straightaway channels in today's market is the physical store, the mobile app, the iPad app, the customer service system, and also finally your website in itself. So those are your 5 channels. Now, how do I basically start a journey anywhere, sitting at home, to basically checking out at office through my mobile, through my iPads, through my capabilities in the store? They all have to be stitched together. The problem we faced 5 years, 10 years down the line was the stitching of all these channels were very native. It was in the West as well. Apps were never humongously expressive or popular in the US or in the UK on the European market. They've also become very popular as our country has progressed as well. But the difference between the West and India's retail is India is fundamentally omni-channel by default. The traditional retailers, the next generation of retailers. That is, you will see an Amazon trading, you will see a Sears trading or a Target trading or a Tesco trading or a Walmart trading, but then they will be trading across in one sphere. Grocery became the biggest online capability and category. But at the end of the day, books still remain. Consumer electronics kicked in. Telco still remained behind. The challenge which India is trying to crack in the omni-channel space is the traditional retailers are saying, I want the app, I want my website to be responsive, I also want my stores to have exactly that same consumer journey which he sees, so that my customer service has that data, and all my kiosks within the store should have that same data. So the crux is India is solving this problem for the West. West couldn't solve this. They solved multi-channel. America and Europe solved multi-channel. They did not solve omni-channel. India is solving omni-channel in that respect. It's an ongoing journey. So today's story is basically taking, and the permutation and combination of the journey could start from anywhere. But we'll take a story of a fashion and lifestyle profile of how she walks through her day, a day in the life of a connected consumer. So if you want to check out my demo, which is basically how our product is featuring, those are your links, which is available and also in our stall in 26. Or you can give a Google search on my name and it shows up. I'm going to tell you the story of what exactly the biggest demographic is young women in today's demographic count. So let's see what and how she does and how we solve this. So that's the global trend in e-commerce space in regards to B2B, B2C. APAC is at there between 2017 is expected that. And to make that happen, that's the India's market trend right now, in whatever that space we are talking about, which is expected. So India has to make that dent. So that's how important India's retail stroke telco stroke B2B, B2C is important. To do that, the omni-channel capability is happening. I mean, the amount of traction we are seeing on an SAP's Hybris commerce and marketing capability is next to none. So, in the life of a normal daily connected customer, on a smartphone, we are always using social applications, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram. We are constantly being pushed, and we are receiving messages from all types of retailers, wherever I've put my email address to, wherever I've been a recurring loyal customer or I have a loyalty card with. That could be your the groups within fashion, that could be groups within consumer electronics or grocery in itself. So if you have that as a starting point to today's story, what we are generally seeing is Gillian gets a push notification to her smartphone app. This is where SAP's insurgence starts, from the tagging capability of the marketing solution. When she does that, she's push notification of her next trends coming, the autumn collection, or your winter collection, or your monsoon collection. If you take that story forward, what's happening is she has been already hooked on, and I actually have hooked in a customer. I was very engrossed in the panel discussion earlier of how digital is expected to do. You're doing that through campaign management capabilities. You're doing that through email campaign, push campaign notification, even to the extent of SMS and beacon messaging notification. Those of you who don't know what iBeacons is, it's coming into India extensively. Our iBeacons are beacons and broadcasters which, if you walk through 20 feet away, that allows a business to push that notification on your phone if you have ever logged into their account in itself. So if I take the beacon or any of the broadcasting devices, say suppose is hanging around in front of your store, this woman has added it to her wish list, one of her products. As soon as you walk past the store, 30 to 60 meters are these beacons. Beacons are one technology I'm telling this story about. What we're seeing in a few retailers in India who are adapting this technology, and that is spreading across in the West, is this is something which never existed a few years back. It's part of our platform, but then there's plenty of other capabilities. This is one tool. The beacon broadcasts if he or she ever logged in to your site and saying that, you know, Mr. Gillian, you are 30 feet within a store where you actually have added a wish list. Do you want to come in the store and explore other products or something else? You, by default, have engaged her from day one. She might have ignored that email. She might have added to the wish list and forgotten, but that message she will always read if there are no notification on her smartphone is on. Then what she does is, then you push another coupon into it. Fine. If you want to pick that up product today, you get a coupon, you redeem your coupon, and you get a discount in itself. So we are basically not using SMSs and WhatsApps anymore. We are fundamentally within 60 feet, if that store is existing, we are tapping the channel, which actually is not your web or your mobile. We are actually tapping another physical channel in itself, which our retail customers who are on our platform are projecting that this will be essentially what they want to. I'll give you an example. I as a Levi's customer, walked past a Levi's store in any of the malls, and if I liked one of the new trends of Levi's jeans, I would basically walk in and I will get a push notification straight away that, sir, this has arrived in the Infinity Mall in itself within that store. As soon as you park the car, you'll get this notification. That's part of the capabilities of the platform which we're trying to push. By default, the app kicks in. So her journey starts from the phone, remains in the app in itself. The app kicks in. And this could easily have been her surfing through her lunch or through in the evening. So this is an extension of that journey. The app kicks in. She's liked it. She's walked into the store. As soon as she's walked into the store, there's a kiosk next to that aisle in itself. And that kiosk actually gives her product range and personalized recommended products because she's a customer of that brand. Now, she can do an extensive look and feel and a virtual showroom if it's a fashion retail spot she's going. She can do she can explore a complete 3D imagery of a LCD 60-inch TV to a complete new smartphone she might explore, or to within the grocery sector, she might actually line up all her groceries accordingly on that kiosk. So the art of the possibility is giving and helping and making it contextual to the retailers of today. This now comes back to my original point, is how much personalization are you putting in as and when she's gone in. Once she has touched that point and you've got her engaged, you want her transaction to get through. Every retailer don't care about how much browse capability, they care about that checkout page fundamentally. So how do we ensure that she has all the tools from here to a checkout and is a recurring customer? We've tracked and tagged all her social history. We have tracked and tagged all her consumer behavior across 3 channels so far. And intentionally, we are going to do exactly like that through one single platform in itself. So the next stage, what she does is, of course, she goes through a series of pages and checkout options, and she goes through a typical payment gateway, whether it's through a smartphone, or she can check out at home or work in itself. What I'm trying to say is, over here, this is exactly where the final endpoint is. She's left the store, and the consumer has left that amount of data with the customer service agents on their iPad. He or she knew that Jillian was coming in the store, or Mr. X or Mrs. Y was coming in the store, or she could have gone ahead on that platform, taking the iPad, and having a personal conversation if he or she wanted to do a cross and an upsell. Now, their advantage is, earlier, 5 of the channels could have been regulated, required to have stitched a POS DM, a POS capability, a fulfillment, a warehouse capability. Then you have a mobile SD cap, and it's still existing. Now, what SAP's hybrid platform right now allows you to do across global retailers, telco retailers, B2B and B2C, and most of the top retailers in the country who have signed up to the platform, is a capability which gives you everything in one stack. It could be in cloud, it could be on-premise, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is that there's a reason why 3 weeks back we have been nominated and have been awarded the world #1 position in e-commerce as a technology and a platform. And that's because we could do the omni-channel on a regular basis. We have done it in Johnson & Johnson, we are doing it in H&M globally, we are doing it with all of, you must have read the Economic Times 2 days back, where Mr. Ambani has announced what his plans of the 5 platforms which he is expecting to showcase that. That's all on that platform. Other major retailers have consumed. What we're trying to say is omni-channel is not a dream anymore. The art of the possibility, once you do get a time, it's a 3.5-minute video, do check it out, go to YouTube and do an SAP omni-channel search. The art of the possibility is a reality now. Now, over here, I'm going to take 30 seconds to explain. All of these processes are business processes where the technology has evolved. This product or this technology space never got created in one day. It got evolved through a few years processes where all of this came across as part of the stack, and all of them can be chopped and changed according to the customer needs. The most important point to take away from this conversation is that omnichannel retail is driving, and it is going to be a reality for all retailers across all product categories in itself. Product A or not is unimportant at this point in time. You have to understand that the vision for omnichannel is essential. Do we use an iBeacon or not? How, if we use an iBeacon, which store has more traction? Is it the Infinity Mall in Malad, or is it the Infinity Mall somewhere in West or the East? Is it some other mall, or is it somewhere near one of the major stores in Hiranandani? I'm just giving a Mumbai example over here. But fundamentally what we are trying to say is the technology is contextual. We are doing this for most of the retailers in India on this product, on our platform, but they're all doing it differently. Nobody is doing it exactly the same way. Some journeys, they are providing fundamentally an app or a web-specific capability, and then they're leveraging and reaching out and opening up the kiosks and handing over the customer service capabilities to the agents. How am I doing by time? I'm okay? Good. So yeah, so that was what I wanted to basically send the message out today. We are in stall number 26 inside. Do pop in, have a look at the product. I think fundamentally it's essential. You want to see what that product is, which is helping so many retailers in the country. And this is changing the complete game. It's a game changer for West as well. They're mimicking and they're shadowing what India is doing. Because tell you what, a Flipkart, Snapdeal and Amazon, 100,000 orders a day, the amount of load, why they didn't work on the first time and why the next generation retailers are aiming and what scalable architecture they're putting, never has happened in the West. Never. I've done about 130 e-commerce implementations, worked extensively with Amazon. Never has happened. What India is doing right now is going to change the entire shape of e-commerce across the West, and US is keenly awaiting when top 10 marketplaces are running, which is going to happen in 2017, by 2017. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And a big hand to Mr. Shouvik Banerjee. Could you please stay back on stage? As I request Dr. Hitesh Bhatt, Director Marketing, Retailers Association of India, to kindly present you a small token of appreciation and gratitude.